going on, Ellipsis Podcast Fam? What's going down? What's good? What's up? I am back with the second week of our relationship series. And we have been talking about so much already, and I am so excited to dive into this new topic. And we are going into the queendom side of things. And so last week we talked about building the table, and now we're talking about setting the table, Queen's Edition. So if you have not already, you already know the drill. Grab your pajamas, grab your popcorn, grab your snacks, grab your notebooks, grab those pens, because it's about to get good. So let's just dive right in, and we are talking about setting the table, Queen's Edition. And so you have all these women that are just, walking around talking about, this is, I am the table. I am the table. And yes, we are the table. But the most important thing is, yes, you want to have a foundation for yourself. The first things first, before we put anything on the table for anybody else is, how are we setting the table for ourselves, before we start setting that table for somebody else. So before we dive into what setting the table looks like for a kingdom spouse and how we set the table for that, how do we set the table for ourselves as women? What is on our table that says we are even up to par to be able to even bring things to somebody else's table? Because of course you want to try your own cooking before you put it on somebody else's table, so in that sense, the table is your foundation in God. The table is, okay, how is my personal life with God? How is my quiet time? How am I running my race for my King and my purpose first? How do I look? So we want to start building from that before we start jumping into the relationship table of things. And so before anything, we want to make sure that anything that we have on our list of things that we want in a husband. So you have, okay, I want him to make this much money. I want him to look like this. I want, long-term, our house and our kids and the goals that we have to look like this. I want these qualities. I don't want these qualities. When you're looking at that list and you've created that list and you've rewritten and done it again multiple times, this list, okay? Because every woman has a list or had a list. Some of us have balled it up and forgotten about the list. And child, I do not blame you. We have all been there. So for some of us who don't have the list, go ahead and make the list. I want you to make the list. After you make the list, everything on that list, the first thing you need to do is become it. Because when you become it, you set the standard, not only for them, but you set the standard for yourself, because you are the standard. So you have the appetizer, the main course, and the dessert of things. So you want the appetizer could be the certain things on your list that you want your husband, as if like the small things. So you have ensuring your car is clean, little details like that, the appetizers. Okay, you have making sure your house is in order and organized and clean, making sure your nails are done, making sure your hair is done, getting little cute clothes and things, little appetizers, things that are cute to the eye, things on your list, the physical part of your list, the things that are on the outside. And then you have the main course, which is the inner, the spiritual. So you're making sure, how are you? And then you look at the qualities and the characteristics of discipline, of loyalty, of honesty, integrity. So then you go to that main course and you go, okay, these are things I want in a man. How can I do that for me and myself right now in my singleness? Because building yourself up in your singleness is the most important thing first, before anything. So when you're looking at that main course on the table for yourself, you go, okay, how is my quiet time? Am I disciplined in my quiet time? Am I applying the kingdom principles, giving my tithe? Am I having crazy faith? even when nothing around me says crazy faith? Do I have the crazy faith that things are going to happen regardless of the outcome? Am I taking what I am learning in church and applying it to my life so that I am growing and stretching myself in the areas where I'm weak so that I am strong in these areas and nobody can come to me and knock me from those areas because I have built myself up in a way that can't be knocked down? How does my main course look? Okay, so that's how I want you to see it when it comes to this list that you have. So you have the appetizers, the nails, the hair, the car being clean, the room being clean, the main course, which is your spiritual, but also the main course could also be the family. So, how do I treat my mother? How do I treat my father? How do I treat my siblings, and making sure that I am being the best version of myself for them first before I am the best version of myself with a man. You see what I'm saying? Making sure that core value is first put towards the family, and then you want to look at the friendships. How are my friendships? Do I have women in my life that are building me up? How does my friendship circle look? Because it will be a reflection of me. Because when people are looking at your table, when you're looking at your table for yourself, how does that look? What does your circle look like? Do you have friends that are going out every weekend, twerking on the table, doing this, doing that? You know what I mean? But not adding value to you, not growing you in the areas where you're weak or need work. The molding does not just come from your relationship with God. It comes from the people that God sends you to build you and mold you into the woman that you're supposed to be. So how does that circle look for you? And if it doesn't look good, change it. Find those friends, even if it's one or two, that can build you, that can, make you better and make you into the woman that you're supposed to be. Because, the value is not in the numbers. The value is in the quality of what you have. And even one friend can take you from what you felt like as the bottom to the top when it comes to yourself and how you're growing. So it's important to ensure that you have a very good circle, a part of the main course that you choose to set out. And so then we go to the dessert of things. So now, okay, that's done, but now you're going to the gym. So let's say, you want him to be physical. You go to the physical part of your list, things like that. Like, I want him to look fit. I want him to do this. But, go to the gym. Make sure that you look good. Make sure that you feel good about you and that you are pushing yourself, to be better health-wise for you. And then going back to the main course, also when you're looking at career-wise in your job, you want him to make this amount of money. You want him to do this. Okay, start going after your goals that you want for you, having that crazy faith. Even when things don't show that. You don't have the degree or you don't have the experience. Go after it anyway. Have that crazy faith and jump. And become that list that you are wanting so bad for this man to be. Be it. Be it for you first. Be it because you want to be the baddest of the baddest for the Lord, okay? Okay, become it first. Find that career, jump. Who said you can't jump? Who said that you got to stay on the ground and can't fly? Jump, girl, jump. Okay? That's what okay, that should have been a title. Jump, girl, jump. Okay? Like what? Who gonna stop you from jumping? Because you're gonna get caught every single time. So, so that main thing, that main course of your list there, after you become that, and then you look at the dessert, and you look at the tiny little specks of things. So the dessert can be, again, the gym, your physical, making sure you look good, because that's on your list, or then you have your apartment and how your aesthetic, how you come off. Okay, I want him to have this aesthetic. I want him to, okay, apply that. So Make sure that, your space is comfortable. Make sure that you can provide those things for you. You know what I mean? And that's just the sprinkle on top. It's not the main thing. It's not as important, but it's just as good when it comes to setting the table for you. So that way your display looks beautiful, not only for you, but for the man that you are wanting to attract to your life. Because nobody's going to come to a table that's not set. Like, what? Like, I mean, you can't trust everybody's cooking. If we're putting it in figurative terms, you can't trust everybody's cooking. So, you got to see what it's about first before you go and try anything, And so moving on from the singleness part of your table and how the food looks from you, for you, and for the other people. Now we're moving into the relationship side of things. So now we're looking at, okay, how do I set that? I have my table. My table is here. I am the table. I've done the work. My table is set for me. These are the foods that I have provided for myself. This is what I offer. And then you have a man who brings the table that they just got done building. And he goes, I need somebody to set this table for me. I've done the work. This is what I have brought. This is the wood of my table. This is the things that my spiritual, my physical, this is everything that I've done. This is my table. How can you add to my table? So now you're in the relationship side of things. So now we're getting into the dating aspect. So now you have the appetizer. Because when you're dating and you are not official in a relationship, you don't want to throw, all right, I'm going to show him my appetizer, my main course, and my dessert on the first date. No, absolutely not. We're not doing that. Okay. So going into a relationship, you really want to take your time. You want to show the appetizer only. So that is going to be, you look good, your nails are done. Okay. Your car is nice and clean. All right. You go and you show him, you're on a date and you do little things. Like, talk about some of the things that you like, but don't give him everything. You don't want to show everything that you have, because then you are no longer a mystery, and it is to grow and build to that point, because not everybody deserves to see all that you have to offer. It's not for everybody. They have to earn it, because you have worked so hard to build this table. You don't want nobody eating all the food, because then there's nothing else for your real spouse to have. You only have one spouse. So if you have no food for that spouse to eat, what are you doing? Let's just be real, okay? Because you done gave all the food away. You got your man coming into your life. Your husband, and he's like, babe, where's the food? I'm hungry. There ain't nothing here to eat. Are you cooking? What is it? Okay, I'm getting off topic. But I'm just saying, you want to have... Okay, why is there a piece spitting out the cake? So my point is, you want to ensure that your table is set and your food is prepared and prepared well. But in the times, when you're at a fancy restaurant, you bring out the appetizer first, you enjoy it, you take your time, and so in the midst of dating, you want to take your time. You want to, go outside to date. Don't go to the home. Don't go in private, secluded areas where you can be tempted. Go into nice places, and make sure, that it is a quality date that you like. And make sure you look good. Make sure your car is clean. Make sure the little things are there, but that's it. There's no, I'm going to cook for you. I'm going to bring these meals for you. I'm going to, pay for this, or I'm going to do... No. Appetizer, okay? Little previews, but that's it. When you become official and you're actually dating and he is your boyfriend, then you can move to, personally for me, and this might be different for each woman, but that's still appetizer stage. You might get a little more of a thicker appetizer, but it's still appetizer, because main course is for someone that you are courting. But initially, in this type of relationship, you are getting into the courting stages, because we're not just dating anymore. If you're dating this person, you are having the conversations that, hey, I'm not playing games. I'm trying to find a husband. I'm trying to find a wife. And if we're doing this for real. And these are the steps that we're taking. So in that case, when you have that mindset, you still want to present the appetizers, and you present tiny little main courses, meaning from there you have presented how you look physically, you have presented what your car looks like, because a car is a huge representation of you. There are days when we can have really bad days in our cars, okay? But it's very important to keep it clean, because it is just a really big representation of you, right? So, and that's just an example. But then you move into a little bit of the main course. So you start, talking about your core values. You start talking about the things that you want for the future. You start talking about, little things like that as the time goes on. But you're still not doing wifely main course duties, okay? So you're still respecting yourself. You're still going home at a certain time. You're still saying goodnight at a certain time. You're still making sure that, you are not the one planning the dates. You're ensuring that during these times, he is having the chance to grow with you and learn you. And you are not giving him the full blueprint of you. Oh, I like this. I don't like this. Oh, I like in conversation, because then there's no more mystery. There's nothing to figure out. The excitement now dissipates because you have given him everything that he needs to ensure that he gets you, because you told him what to do. So really, did he work for it, or did you give it to him? Let's get real for a second. Did he work for it, or did you give it to him? So it's very important that, and this is why I put it in the metaphor of appetizer, main course, dessert. Okay? Because when you're going through these things, you want to ensure that you are staying in position of protecting you, and everything that you have built until he proposes and things start going to the next level. Then you can start giving him that treatment of, okay, this man is going to be my husband. These are, so like going on those trips and, getting him all these things for his birthday, these birthday trips and this, that, and the third. Because now what are you saving for your husband? But the thing is that so many women are afraid that they're going to lose the man because they didn't show enough of their table. But the thing is, the man wasn't patient enough to get to learn and know you. The thing is, ladies, is that during this time where you have built up so much of your table to be able to satisfy yourself and make sure that you are in order for the husband that you're wanting, but also in order with God, in line with your purpose for the things that you have to do in your singleness before you step into the relationship part of things, it is important that you protect your table. The problem is that, a lot of men these days want something quick and they want it easy. So when you're looking for kingdom men, and when men are looking for kingdom women, the ones that say, oh no, that's too much work, and we start lowering our standards because they say, oh, that's too much work. Ooh, your standards are way too high. No. Your standards are not too high. That's not the man for you, because he has not done the work. Because if he had done the work, he would have been looking for that king, that queen of the kingdom spouse, to be able to say, you know what, I did all this work. I'm going to find a woman who did just as much work as me. I don't want no woman who can just give me everything at one time. I'll tell you this, and I'm going to be very upfront and honest. All of the successful marriages I have seen between amazing kingdom women and amazing kingdom men, the women have never, ever lowered their standards. They've always kept their standards very high, and they have not wavered from those standards. No matter what the outcome is, no matter if they're single, no matter if the man decides that they want them one day and not want them the next, because because the thing is that they're going to challenge you. Men are always going to say, I'm going to see. Are her standards going to stay high? Okay, maybe I'll make her think that, and then I'm gonna go in and try to lower them. Because sometimes that is the mindset. Not in all men, but a lot of them. So from there you go, keep your standards high. All of the successful marriages I have seen, the woman has never lowered their standards. The men have either pushed themselves to reach those standards, not because they want the woman, sometimes it is, but because it's become a rare thing now. And it should not be, where women's standards are high. That should not be a rare thing. That should be an everyday thing. And I'm telling you, ladies, to not lower your standards, and make sure that you keep your head up and your shoulders back and your table clean, clear, and crisp. And make sure that your appetizer, make sure that's your main course, and make sure that your dessert for the list that you want for your man, but the list that you want for you, so that you look good as a queen in the kingdom, is immaculate. Because in that way, you will never fail. And I said it for the men too last week. You will never fail. You do a disservice to yourself when you start to lower your standards because you are so desperate for a man. Be desperate for yourself. Be desperate for you. Be desperate to find you. Be desperate to have your relationship with God go further. Be desperate to fall in love with you. Because when you fall in love with yourself, it is only right that you find somebody who loves you just as much as you love you. And that requires ensuring that your standards stay high. And from there, you will be met at the height of which your standards lie. I'm telling you right now. And I don't even think I really have to talk about dessert too much. Long story short, the dessert don't come to the ring, is on your finger. Okay? Because then that's when all of those decisions are endless. Okay? You can go on the trips, you can buy the gifts, you can do everything that you've been wanting to do so long, to show your love. And I think that's one of the most fun parts. And I think that, and honestly, if I'm being real, when you are setting yourself up to date and you have that dessert on the table, the dessert that's there should be just the physical on the outside. But that's it, okay? Nothing else. The rest and all the other details is saved for the ring. All right, so when it comes to the rest of the dessert on the table, there needs to be one dessert on the table, and that is the physical. The hair, the nails, and the clothes, making yourself look good for you, and making yourself look good because that was something on the list as well, because you're becoming the list. So keep the rest of the dessert, okay, in the oven, child. Don't put it on the table, okay? It's off the table until the ring is on the finger, all right? As long as we clear about that. The last thing is this. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, okay? And one chapter of the book, and I know we know this, but really take your time to just read it. And it's just a beautiful chapter, Proverbs 31. The Proverbs 31 woman. But read it and just enjoy it. It really is beautiful. And that is a standard. And we can take that standard and mold it and create it into anything else as God sees fit in our lives. But let that be a standard. Proverbs 31 all the way. And stretch it from there, We're not going to get it right all the time, and we're not perfect, okay? So, don't feel like you have to be this perfect thing. No, be you. Be you. That's all God wants, is for you to be you, and He will do and mold the rest. But don't change you for anybody. The way you are is beautiful. The way you are is perfect. God is going to mold you and shape you with the same clay that you were made with. So don't change who you are, but let God add to you the things that He sees fit for you and for your life. And all the rest will fall into place. So I am so excited for y'all. I'm so excited for this series. I'm having so much fun recording this series for you guys. So we are back at it again tomorrow. I hope you guys tune in. You already know, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night. I love you guys. I hope you got some dimes, because I dropped some dimes. All right. Pick them up what I'm putting down. Okay. You have been listening to the Ellipsis Podcast with Deja Terry, and I hope you guys have an amazing night. Catch y'all tomorrow. Bye. And remember, keep the rest of that dessert in the oven. Amen. Have a good night.